you doing? My name's AJ Gallant, and this is a new little project that I'm starting called Ambition Garage. I got the idea from my son, my oldest son, who's actually off in college at UAH, AJ, the third, and it's kind of going to be based mostly off of this little Miata that we'll talk a little bit more about. But I built this car this will be like the third time. I got it as a pretty much stock 1.6 1990 Miata, and we built it for carving some canyons out here in Alabama, and it turned into I wouldn't call it a serious drift car, but I put a lot of serious time and effort in it. At best, you would call it a pro-am car, but I don't even know if I'd call that. I just have fun with it. I'm not into serious or professional drifting. It's just a hobby that I fell in love with. So anyway, today's video, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of kind of what to expect from me in the channel. A couple small things about me. I was born back east in Rhode Island, and my mother and father moved us to Las Vegas, Nevada at a pretty early age, and that's where I spent most of my life. Up until the last 9, almost 10 years, I've been in Alabama. I'm in the Birmingham area in a little town called Leeds. And the whole idea for the name Ambition, as you can see the wall behind me, and even from the car, if you can see that in the video, is I got hooked up with a couple of buddies. I'd been driving a couple of events, and the car was really doing well. And there was a entity out here, a motorsports event creator, if you will. He was doing some team stuff. He wanted to do some team stuff. So me and a couple other drivers, really good guys, Brandon and Hunter, started a team called Drift Team Ambition, and we started driving together. We painted our cars very similar, did similar liveries. They were all the gold and chrome with the Acura white paint, and I did like the red base on my graphics, and Brandon's was green and Hunter's was pink, and it was just really cool. They looked really cool on track, and I've got a bunch of pictures of us driving together and stuff like that. And maybe I'll show you guys those someday or today or whatever. But I just really love drifting. I've done a little bit of everything. I've been into cars and bikes and BMX and skating and stuff for my whole youth. And then as I got old enough to start driving and working on cars and buying cars, I've bought and sell and traded and bartered, and I had just about everything. I've had lifted trucks, I've had lowered trucks, I've had bag trucks, I've had lifted cars, Crown Vic, not a lie. Obviously lowered cars. I've had a Honda phase. God bless anybody. But drifting is the one that really seemed to stick. And I got hooked up with a couple of really good guys in Las Vegas, guys that drove Formula Drift, really, 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 really helped me out and taught me a lot of good things. And it made drifting fun for me. I even though they went on to do Formula Drift and professional stuff, that wasn't ever really my thing. It was more of an expression of style, and that's my favorite part. This thing it's ridiculous. This car makes 70 horsepower right now, but it looks like it makes 500, 200. But it's just, I love the expression of drifting. I love the style. I love super maxed out angle and banging RPMs, and this poor thing has had the absolute snot beaten out of it every time I've taken it out. So I think I'm going to pull this thing out and give you guys a little quick walk around of just the car, and yeah, kind of wrap this one up. And I'll just, we're gonna have little projects here and there. I'm doing this really for two reasons. One, like I said, I built this car so many times that I forget some of the stuff that I've done to it. I've forgotten what companies I used and what bolts I used and stuff like that. And I don't write anything down, and I have a terrible memory. So maybe having this filmed will help with some of that. I can go back and look at a video and be like, oh, that's right, I used this steering wheel with this thread pitch bolt or whatever, And the other thing is, you know, I'm getting up there in age. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and I'll be 44 in June. So my oldest is off to college, and my current wife now she's pregnant with another child of mine. I'm very smart guy. I know. But you know, someday down the road, I'm gonna be gone, and maybe my grandkids or great grandkids or whatever. Maybe they didn't get a chance to meet me or talk to me or see some of the crazy stuff that I used to do. So I thought this would be a really cool project to have around for them, and for myself to be able to look back at stuff and you know, I will also get old someday and probably kind of like to look back at this and be able to cherish and see these moments that I had with my sons and friends, and we'll take you on a bunch of adventures. You know, anytime I take this thing drifting, I've got to do a baseline on this thing. So we're gonna take it drifting 1.6 liter naturally aspirated. It's gonna be terrible. I'm praying for rain. We have a local track here called Mid Pond, run by a guy named Ken. He's one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and really looking forward to taking this thing out and just doing a shakedown again. I got a welded diff. I've got some interior stuff to spruce it up. She's missing a couple things here and there. You know, it's been sitting for a while. Let's go ahead and get this thing fired up real quick, and I'll do a quick introduction to the car. All right. If it sounds god awful on camera, don't worry, because it sounds 3 times as bad in person. I promise you. There's no clutch shaky switch. It's not necessary. All right, we got the old guy pulled out. This is a 1990 Miata. Still has a 1.6. Does have a long nose crank engine, and we affectionately call this guy Baymax. The way we came up with that was my now 12-year-old son, Jacoby. You'll probably see him on the channel. He's here with me all the time, and he's always out here just checking on me and working on stuff. I used to have, when it was red, it used to have, you know, when I got it from the guy I got it from, it had that little tail panel there, was all black, and it had the blacked out lights. And he said that it looked like Baymax. You can see the little eyes and the thing in between. And the name just stuck, because it was red, and like that was his like little super suit or whatever you call it. He was red, and when we painted it white, we just stuck right with it. We just stayed with the theme. So anyway, it's a 1.6 long nose crank out of, I believe it was a 93, could have been a late 92. Runs really good. Me and my oldest son, AJ, pulled this motor, trans, clutch, diff, axles, drive shaft, airbox, interior, everything. We pulled it out of a wrecked 1991 that a buddy of his had bought. So his buddy was, he's a young kid, same age as my son, about 18, and he bought one of these cars to drive around and just have fun with. He saw mine and loved it. I had a black 96 that he saw, and this one was still sitting in the garage on jack stands. And he fell in love with the car, bought it, and was going around a corner one night and dumped it straight off into a ditch. As kids will do. Shut up, Gladys, I'm filming a video. The neighbors have geese and ducks and chickens and all sorts of stuff. So they yell constantly. Sorry about that. Anyway. So Danny had rolled his car over, and we, last Christmas, took off and started taking all the parts off of that car. And at the same time, I bought cheap little eBay coilovers. This car was built 6 years ago. It was running turbocharged. You can see the cool little gauges in there. I had custom gauges made for it. And even the panel actually matches. It's kind of a little special treatment. Yeah, Baymax, got some air. Hey. Oh, hey. Yeah, not anything crazy. So anyway. All right. So anyway. Well, So anyway, long story short. The car I got was naturally aspirated and it was pretty much bone stock. I put some good stance coilovers on it, modified my own knuckles, did some extended ball joints, extended brake lines, and I bought a couple of Miatas for parts. You know how it goes. If you're a car guy and you've been in anything. I was driving around a Miata and all of a sudden somebody's like, hey, I know somebody who's got one of these. He'll sell it for $500. And I looked and it was an M edition, came with a Torsen diff. So I picked that up, had a bad motor, but I sold like the BBS wheels and the trans and a couple other things off of it and got the diff for free. I think I even got paid, to be honest with you. Saved a bunch of the suspension stuff, which is what's on this car now, actually, because we modified all the 1990, the factory stuff. And when I kind of hit a snag, life happened, and I drove this car for about 4 or 5 years to all kinds of events. And I beat it. There's videos and clips and stuff out there if you really want to look. Me and the boys go hard. And this thing was the worst tune possible. I mean, it had a 1.6 factory block, had gasket, head studs, injectors, still had the flappy Maffei airflow meter thing. I did a Flying Miata Voodoo box and ran it on 8 pounds of boost on a China Charger T28. And that made it the first event or two, and then that turbo gave up, and I put a rebuilt turbo from a guy down here in Pelham, Alabama, Work Turbochargers. Reed made me a factory S13 SR, like T25, and we slapped that thing on there, and that turbo made it through pretty much the rest of the events. But most of them, when I loaded the car on a trailer, it sounded like a 7.3 Power Stroke. For some reason, I would just go and go and go, and it would start overheating, and it would start losing power, and I'd just clutch kicker a couple more times and let it eat, and it would just collapse lifters. I blew one motor when I first put it together. I was doing some testing, and we had overboosted it really bad trying to get the boost dialed in. I think I hit 12 or 14 pounds of boost, and the AFRs were really bad. And I probably damaged the piston, like the ring land at that point, but it still drove fine. We didn't think anything of it, and I was getting on the highway about 3 or 4 days later. It's actually 2 days before the first event I ever ran with that car when it was red. Drift Temple 2, hosted by a couple guys who ran a place called Alabama Speed Club. Anyway, that motor had to be swapped in a day, and I found it on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, something like that, and the kid was about an hour away, and I drove up at 11 o'clock at night, loaded the motor up in my Exploder, drove it back, and the next morning about 6 in the morning got up and pulled the motor out of the car and put that one in and put everything back on it and did fat stinky burnout in the driveway and said we're good, and showed up the next day in that event and hammered that motor car. It was still to this day one of the coolest events I've ever done, just because of everything that happened. But so life happened. I parted the car out, so I got rid of everything. The car had if you go through my Facebook or my Instagram, they're all AJ Gallant Jr. or you can look at the Ambition page. I'll start posting stuff up. I have ambition.garage on Instagram and ambition.garage on Facebook. If you go through some of the photos of what the car was, it was such a great car. It had everything that I wanted to do to it. I did custom interior, and it had a racing seat and harnesses and quick release steering wheel and all sorts of stuff. And it was just a fun car. There was nothing crazy special about it. Like I said, if it made 150, 160 horsepower, I'd be shocked. It was an 8 pounds of boost, stock injector, stock airflow box setup. We're going to do it a little bit different this time. I am going to do a similar manifold, and I have a come with me. Take a walk, if you would. I've got, there's some old motors. This was the last motor that come out of it. You can actually see it's still got the turbo drain. I'll have to take that off and put it on another motor. This is another really good 1.6 motor that I got from a buddy of mine. And, you know, the old, I'm going to rebuild it. And I took it apart, and here she sits. So it does just need to be cleaned up, re-gasketed. I may re-ring this one and give it a little bit bigger ring gap, because I want to try to run on the new setup around 14 pounds of boost. And I'm hoping to make, if I'm lucky, somewhere around 180 to 200. But I'm not really shooting for a number. That's the Transit. That thing is, oh, she's been through hell and some clutch kicks. I can't believe that thing still works. Like, it doesn't grind or anything. It's nuts. These Miata transmissions are pretty tough. Anyway, this was a wedding present from a buddy of mine. Again, read over at what turbocharger built this. It is a Garrett 2860 is what I was told. If anybody knows anything better than that, I can take it out if we really need to look at it. But, I mean, that's it. Yeah. So, that's pretty much what we're working with. This is just a quick introduction. I just wanted to say, oh, hey, and introduce myself, and hope to hear from a couple of you guys, and maybe you'll enjoy these videos. Like, hopefully someday my grandkids and kids and great-grandkids and all that crap will. So, peace. You know, I just realized as I was getting ready to pull this thing back into the garage, and I'll shut this video down. This thing runs. Let's take you for a spin. We'll just go around the block. Nothing special. It's gonna scrape on a lot of things. Oh, that's frame rail. It's fine. It's fine. They come like that. It's really low. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. That's style, baby. The exhaust got them. You know, one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this page, like I said, is to have memories and stuff with my kids and be able to look back at it myself, have friends join in on it. You know, I don't, with 4 going on 5 kids, I don't get to see all my friends as much as I would like to. So for them to be able to feel like they can come and look at the page, oh, that's the front lip, we didn't need that part of it. For them to be able to come and look at it, check stuff out, see how the old fart's doing, how we're making out, and if we're going to make an event and stuff, that's cool. I'm going to do some interior stuff. Probably one of the first videos I'll do is doing an interior. We're going to put a special kind of carpet in this you can't find just anywhere. They sell it at the shelf at your local hardware store or O'Reilly's. Some like to call it Duplicolor, some call it Rust-Oleum. I call it easier than buying new carpet and making it clean and black. I've got to do the knuckles again because it's got factory knuckles on it. It's got a factory 1.6 diff, which I'm going to absolutely grenade once I go turbocharged, but we don't have to worry about that later. So I'll do a video on stuff like that, and just have fun with it. And the reality is, this allows me to buy parts. I can tell my wife, like, hey, look, I'm trying to get some content for the channel. I gotta get parts. I need a tow truck. I need a tow rig. You know what I mean? We're in Alabama. Rednecks mess up Chevys all the time. I can find me a cheap Chevy and make her run good again and maybe tote this thing around. I don't know crap about diesel trucks. I know all you guys probably tow your cars around with diesel trucks. I don't know diesels. And they're expensive. And I can get an old Vortec 350 Silverado or Yukon or Suburban. Oh boy. Oh, don't pay no mind that. But I can get an old Chevy truck or an old Ford truck or something. And it'd be cool little run around town, picking up parts and that sounds terrible. You know what makes a really crappy exhaust sound good? T28 turbocharger. That's what I told my wife. That's between you and me. That's our secret. Don't tell her. But yeah, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. I like building crappy cars. My favorite cars are crap boxes. I don't know if you saw in the video, I got a little Mercedes that I daily drive. I'm not bougie. It's cheap. It's cheaper than your Hyundai SUV, so don't get all froggy with it. But it's got like heated seats and all that crap, and that's nice. It really is. But it has no soul. This car has, I swear I can hear its heartbeat. I can't hear anything over the exhaust. But if it had a heartbeat, I swear, I can hear it. I can feel this car wanting to be more, be alive again. And I'm like that with cars. I get an attachment to cars, man. And I love messing with them. I love tinkering with them. I love Crown Vics. I love Crown Vics and Grand Marquis. I love that whole Panther platform, for the love of Dustin Pedroia. I love the old Crown Vics and Grand Marquis and town cars. I love the OBS Chevys and square body Chevys. I just like older cars with character. So, you know, maybe I can use this channel as an excuse to the wife to buy more crap. It's a win-win. So, anyway, we're pulling into the driveway. I'll give you guys one more nice, oh, there's the lip, and it's fine. It's fine. They all do that. They do. So, yeah. Yep. So that's what we're going to do here, is some content stuff. All right. Kobe, say hi.
Hello.
Okay. See you guys later.